Hello everyone and welcome to Imola for the final WCS League race of the year. I've got a bit of a cold, as you can hear, but I'm still going to be commentating. I'm Joshua Jones and I'm really looking forward to this one because we do have a championship decider on our hands. It's between two drivers at the front of the order, Stefan Ruhl and Wopke Hoekstra. Hoekstra currently leading that championship by 16 points, and we have 43 points on offer today, so still anything to play for really, and that will make this particular race very interesting indeed. And I know that many people are looking forward to it, including me, and I've been speaking to many of the drivers as well. This is a properly big event. It also helps that this is the final race of the year, so it means that really this is the last chance for the drivers to shine in any series at all, because it's not just the final race of this for the year, it's the final race of pretty much all simulator championships. I know that there is one more McGann Trophy race to come, also at Imola and also from the WCS League, but in terms of single-seater racing, this is the last chance. So I say that well, if anyone feels like it, then this is definitely an event they're going to enter, just to round off the year in a nice way. Whoa! Big slide and a spin from Wopke Hoekstra on his first. Well, that's Rink Hoekstra. Never mind. Okay, big slide from Rink Hoekstra on his first qualifying lap. So I'm going to switch the camera to Fabian Rude now. I'm also doing cameras. Right, where's... Okay, Stefan Ruhl is on a whoa, who was that? In the background, someone's just gone for a real flight. Oh my... And someone else is going off too. It was Menno Klont. So, and both of the... both of that team's cars have just gone off down there. What team's that? I know the name. Multiforce, that's it. Just reminding myself of the team name there. But anyway, we've had... two flights already, a bit of an interesting start. Let's see what Hoekstra does as his first lap. Of course, pole position here will be very important because it's not exactly a straight or a track with many straights, and it's not well. And you do get a point for second. Oh, who was fastest? Okay, so Wopke Hoekstra was fastest on that first lap, and he leads us around so far in qualifying here with 11.5 minutes to go. As I was saying though, qualifying is worth 1 point, so if you stick it on pole here, you get 1 more point than you would otherwise do, and that can sometimes be the deciding factor between losing a championship and winning it. Some of you will remember, or many of you will remember, the 2015 to 16 Formula E series, so season 2 of Formula E, when the championship was decided at the final round by who got fastest lap, and fastest lap incidentally is also a point scoring factor in this series. So a couple of sessions to look out for. This will be one of them. Ryan Nash has just done a good first sector, a 30.420, about 3/10 off Lars Brugman, who's just posted ahead of him. But let's see what this lap will be as he makes his way around in the number 64. We've got just over 10 minutes left. Nash was actually looking very quick in practice earlier. He was right at the pointy end of the field, much higher up than we've seen him on previous occasions. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Now, in terms of the actual championship, as I said, it's between just two drivers now. It's between Wopke Hoekstra and Stefan Ruhl. And for Ruhl to win it, well, he's 16 points behind at the moment with 43 points on offer. So for Hoekstra to win it in the first of the two races, he will need to outscore Ruhl by 5 points. So 5 points, that could be, for example, Hoekstra finishing first and Ruhl finishing third, providing that fastest lap doesn't go to either of them, because fastest lap also scores a point, so that could be a deciding factor in the actual result of this race, or indeed this championship. Well, in the result of the championship especially, because that's where the points fought. Now, why has the live stream just gone offline? Has it just stopped? I was just told the live stream went offline. Okay, I'll check that. Oh no, live stream's up. Okay, so the live stream didn't just go offline, and I'm being completely daft. Jolly good. Right. Anyway, back to the action. I know I'm not pointing my camera at anything at the moment. I was just trying to sort the stream out. Apologies about that. I have no idea why it just said it went offline, because it obviously didn't. So apologies for that. But whatever the case, we're back and we are spectating Wesley Stefano as he makes his way around. We've just had we've just had a session personal best for Wopke Hoekstra in the first and second sectors. Here he is. Oh, that was a quick lap. He's crossed the line with a 1:30.387 and now he's gone off. But that was a very quick lap from Hoekstra. Ruhr also goes quicker, but not as quick. In fact, he's 7/10 off here. So this session so far is being absolutely dominated here by Wopke Hoekstra so far. Still time to improve though. Still almost 8 minutes of time left to go. As a result, it could change any way really. And still a long way to go. Just having a quick drink of water there. Right, we're back with Gerrit de Vries. He is where is he in the order at the moment? He's 12th in the order at the moment, and I don't think. Okay, he's just going on to a hot lap, so he'll be wanting to improve from that position. In the server today, we have 17 drivers so far, and 18th just joined and then left out. At the front half of the grid, it will be Wopke Hoekstra, Stefan Ruhr, Johan Lindberg, Niels Brugman, Tobias Olsen, Lars Brugman, Fabian Rude, Roy Vazil and Ryan Nash. That's the top 9. And following them so far are Wesley Stefano, Gerrit de Vries, Mikkel Galke, Menno Klont, Rink Hoekstra, Chris Kinsman, Jacob Peggett and Matt Williams. I also believe we're going to have a Tristan Potters and also an Antonio Hreljanovic, who has just joined the server now actually. So we do indeed have those drivers. Now if I go up the order, sorry, I'm going to have to turn on the overlay briefly just to see where I am, because I have no idea a lot of the time. This is Lars Brugman in 6th position, and he's on a quick lap, just possibly getting held up a little bit by Chris Kinsman here, although he might also be getting the tow for him. Let's see what this lap is. It was, when it loads in, I think my site's crashed actually, so I can't see yet. Let me. Okay, he's still 6th, so he's still 6th. So obviously, if he did improve, it wasn't quite enough to move him any further up the order. In fact, everything's crashing for me. I think my internet's going derpy today. I really hope that that's not affecting the stream. It does, however, mean I can't see who's on a quick lap now. So, well, it won't be Tobias Olsen, because by the way he's weaving, he's not even on a hot lap at the moment. He'll be on his out lap, just warming the tyres up. Niels Brugman just coming around the bottom end of the circuit. Two difficult left-handers at the bottom end of the circuit there. I did know their names. I can't remember them all of a sudden. If my computer lets me, you'll probably hear it humming loudly in the background. I can get up a map of the track, but anyway, that's not important now. Right, my site has finally decided to load up. So if I scroll through the order, Menno Klontz on a good lap so far. He's up on his whoa! Why did I speak? as soon as I say he's doing well, he has a big wiggle, and this lap's probably not going to be any quicker than his last one was. In fact, my site's crashed again. Oh no, it's loaded in. Where did that put him? No, it wasn't faster than his last lap. Chris Kinsman did improve his lap in 13th. Niels Brugman is on a quick lap towards the front. He is currently 4th. And his first sector there was a 29.775. That's quick. This could really be a lap to look out for. He's just crossing the second sector timing beam now. And that's going to be a 34.740. So let's see. Oh, as we've had a spin for Roy Vigil, who gets going again. Hopefully Neil Brugman was not held up by that in any way. As across the line now, or in a minute rather, he's just coming around the back end of the pit straight. He will cross the line now. What was the lap? Oh, it puts him second. Still 6/10 off Wopke Hoekstra, but that's the closest anyone's got to him so far. Johan Lindberg, meanwhile, has gone he's gone fastest in the first sector. It appears he's made a mistake in the second sector because he's not up there. But in the first sector, he's set a best of the session so far. Now, don't worry, he's not going off there. That's completely my lag. And I hope that my voice isn't lagging on stream, as it might well be. But anyway, let's see what Johan Lindberg's lap is this time around. It was... Unfortunately, the mistake he made in the second sector was obviously too big, and he didn't go faster at all. What about Wopke Hoekstra? He's now gone fastest in the first sector. So, purple in the first sector is Wopke Hoekstra, although he does use too much of the track. Now, that will be looked at by the stewards, and to be honest, this lap won't be allowed to stick. If you do put all 4 wheels over the white line on your hot lap, although he did just go purple in sector 2 as well, personal best. If you do happen to put all 4 wheels over the white line on your hot lap, the lap is not allowed to stand, whether you gained advantage or not. So whatever Wopke posts on this lap, it will probably not be allowed to stand. And and that was actually faster. Now, if he's wise here, he will ask the race director to delete that lap, because if it sticks and no one knows that he cut the track there, and he doesn't say use my second fastest lap, which incidentally will also give him pole position here, then he might well get a back of the grid penalty for the next round. However, would that even stand? Because the next round is next season. So whether it carries over or not, I don't know. Maybe the stewards would just give him a right old telling off for it or something like that. There must be some kind of technique they use to stop people from doing that at the end of the season, just because it's the end of the season, but I'm not entirely sure what they do there. As Ryan Nash is going to cross the line now. What's his time? He was up on his personal best in the second sector, and he goes not faster. Right. Now we are in the dying stages of this qualifying session. We've got less than a minute to go of standard time as Nash goes off and clips the wall, actually. And now he's going to spin it round. Ooh, loses his nose as well. So he's not going to be able to go any faster, and the best he can hope for is 7th. Mikkel Galka is on a quicker lap than his best so far. Dips a wheel on the grass on the exit of the corner at the bottom of the track. That might hamper his momentum a little bit, but hopefully not too much. And let's see what it's like when he crosses the line. It is a 1:32.020, which puts him 8th. So that is an improvement for his time there. And the order so far is Hoekstra, Brugman, Ruhr, Lindberg, Olsen, Brugman, Nash, Galka, Rieder, Stefano, although there is still time for some of that to change. In fact, I don't know if it will, because the track appears to be getting slightly slower. Who's Oh, no, as I say that, Niels Brugman is launching a last-minute attack for the pole. He's set a personal best first sector here. Let's watch him in the second. There's Aqua Minerale, the very, very frightening second. Oh, he's got all four wheels over the line. So, that might well be it for his lap. In fact, it will be, because if he does point out that he went... Oh, and now he's properly binned it. So, I'm afraid... despite a last-minute first sector attack at the pole position, he will not be going any faster, and he knows it. He's going back to the garage now. Roy Vigil, let's see what he can do with this time. Hoekstra, Brugman, and Olsen. Ruo's gone second. Okay, Stefan Ruo has, but he didn't go second, did he? So. I'm wondering whether... Okay, I'm a bit confused there. I'm wondering whether either Ruo set that lap when I wasn't looking, or whether, as Roy Vigil has a big slide and goes into the grass, and now the pits as well, or whether Brugman asked for a lap of his to be deleted so that he dropped behind. Anyway, that is the qualifying session over now. All drivers have finished setting their laps, and the order is Hoekstra, Ruo, Brugman, Lindberg, Olsen, Brugman, the other Brugman, that is, Niels Brugman is third, Lars Brugman is sixth, Nash, Galka, Rude, Stefano, Hriljanovic, Vigil, Williams, Kinsman, De Vries, Klont, Hoekstra, Pegg, and Potters. So, those are the 19 drivers that we got in the end in their qualifying order. Now, we're going to have a quick 5-minute break and then be right back for the first race. Right, we're back, and it's very nearly race time. In fact, we just have 1.5 minutes left in the 5 or 6 minute warm-up session before the race. So really not much time to go. Now this session here, of course, does not have an impact on the actual race result, or qualifying result rather. It doesn't have an impact on where the drivers start or anything like that. All this is really is just so that the drivers can remind themselves on what driving with race fuel feels like. And of course you also don't have to worry about how they might be using up their fuel before the race, because that can also be reset. So really there is no problem with with using up some fuel in this session. And all the drivers will be doing is getting used to their race setup for one last time, because of course they have been running practice and qualifying setups for the last 20 or 30 minutes, and a lot of the time that can be very different to your race setup. So this is just really an opportunity for the drivers to remind themselves of what the race setup feels like. Now we've got a few people in the YouTube chat now. We have Fabian Rieder, who just actually got his best qualifying ever, he says. So well done to Fabian. I believe you're starting 9th, aren't you? So very good result there. From someone with your experience. That's definitely better than I could do, and I've been racing simulators for roughly as long as you. Holland Racing Team is also here, hoping for a really good outcome tonight. Well, of course. Gerrit de Vries also says this is one of his worst qualifying sessions, being half a second off in the last turn. So not so good there from the Holland Racing Team, but good luck there. We hope you can. We hope that your race setup allows you to have a better race than you did in qualifying. Although I don't think you did that badly in qualifying. Why is Roversill being starred here? I don't know what that means. Never mind. Okay, well, whatever. The qualifying session, or the practice session rather, is very nearly at a close, and then it'll just be a brief wait while we get everyone to the starting grid, and then we can get underway. Again, another quick a quick swig of my water bottle while I type in the YouTube chat as well. As I've said, I've got a bit of a cold today, so if I don't sound that good, then I apologise for that. Jeffrey Fournier, he wasn't in qualifying, was he? So I believe we've got 20 people in the session now. Also, I just checked, and the two corners at the bottom end of the circuit are called Rivatsa, which is a name that I knew. Yeah, we do have 20 people in the session. Jolly good. Right. In fact, it's... Yeah, so just to remind myself of the corner names, we've got Traguardo, as turn 2. So that's the first of the 3 corners at the first chicane. The first corner isn't really a corner according to many drivers. It's just taken absolutely flat, and you barely notice it. You barely have to turn at all. Turn 4 is the infamous Tamburello. That's where the great Ayrton Senna sadly had his fatal accident. Then we have Villeneuve, again a site of tragedy as Roland Ratzenberger went off there, also on that same weekend in 1994. Tosa at the top right of the order. If you look at most maps, that's a very tight hairpin, very tricky one as well, because it's uphill, meaning that for most drivers it's very difficult to actually get your acceleration right without kind of spinning the car around. Piratella, very fast corner at the top of the hill. Now that's taken in 4th gear, very, very fast. Fastest corner on the track, pretty much. Before you head down the hill and through the dip at Acqua Minerale, turns 9 and 10. And then up and out of Acqua Minerale, very difficult not to exceed the track limits on the exit. And the race stewards might well be looking for that, especially in qualifying. Then into a tight and tricky chicane, 11 and 12 Variante Alta. You have curbs. Massive curbs, in fact, on the inside there, and not much. Well, quite a lot of curb on the exit, rather, but not much room on the exit without going over the white line, which is an issue in qualifying. Then down towards the bottom of the hill again with the 2 Ravazzas, and then up through turn 16, which is the Variante Bassa to finish the lap. Very tricky circuit here at Imola, the Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferrari. It's a real driver's circuit, really, with not many long straights breaking the flow, and the drivers have to be on it at all times, really, to keep it on the road. It's a very flowing circuit with a lot of chicanes and a couple of fast corners. I was driving this track the other day, and I particularly like the Piratella at the top of the hill. Very, very fun when you get it right. Not so fun when you don't, but yeah, very, very, very fun when you do get it right. You can run it right out over the curbs there, and it's a lot of fun. Not many overtaking opportunities on this lap. We might see some very, very good late dives down into Traguardo or Tosa, the Variante Alta. I don't expect we'll get moves anywhere else, really. There's not really much room for slipstreaming here. So if a driver wants to pull an overtake here, they have to be very, very good about it. Possibly force their opponents into a mistake.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
And that is the call for the drivers to go out onto the grid. So we have a few people lining up already. If I just get my camera into the right place. There we go. This is the top part of the field. So far the top driver on the road is Niels Brugman. But of course Ruel and Hoekstra are going to be starting ahead of him. Reminding you of the order again, we have Wopke Hoekstra starting on pole, followed by Stefan Ruel, Niels Brugman, Johan Lindberg, Lars Brugman, Niels' brother, starting in 5th, I noticed, so who's dropped down? Then we have Ryan Nash, Mikkel Galke in 7th, Fabian Rude in 8th, Wesley Stefano, Tobias Olsen, Antonio Hrelianovic, there you go, Roy Vigil, Matthew Williams, Chris Kinsman, Gerrit de Vries, Menno Klont, Jacob Pegg, Tristan Potters, Rink Hoekstra, Jeffrey Fournier, and that's your lot. So away we head now on the final formation lap, bar 1 of the year, the final feature race formation lap of the year. And it's Wopke Hoekstra who is going to lead us round here. Of course, Hoekstra has scored 1 point for that qualifying now, bringing Hoekstra's gap up to 17 points, meaning that to outscore Ruel in the championship, all he needs to do now is score 4 more points than him in this race. And if he scores 4 more points than him in this race, and he gets 21 points ahead, actually looking at the order, he'd need to get 5 more points ahead, because if he got 4 points ahead, Real would still have more wins than him and would win on countback. But if Hoekstra gets 5 points ahead, then regardless of what Real does in race 2, Hoekstra is champion. And that could even mean if Hoekstra wins this race and Real comes third, barring that neither of them get fastest lap, or if Hoekstra gets fastest lap, Hoekstra is champion. And that could well happen, actually. Niels Brugman has looked very quick, as has Tobias Olsen and a lot of the other drivers as well. And any of them would like to snatch the position away from Stefan Roth. They will not care that he's fighting for a championship position here. And I must point out, actually, it's really nice that we get to see the 2 championship protagonists starting on the front row of the grid together. Very good for the spectacle of this race. And I think that's definitely what we need to see in a championship decider. The 2 championship protagonists starting on the front row of the grid alongside each other. Here is the back end of the grid. It's Rink Hoekstra who's dropped down the order, I believe. I think he started higher up than, or qualified higher up than that, didn't he? Actually, I'm not sure. So here's Jeffrey Fournier, who is going to be bringing up the field. The first few cars are just about to stop. Here's the very yellow onboard view from Wopke Hoekstra's car, as he slots into the grid box. Actually, he slots slightly over it, but he's got back in position now. He's actually moved himself quite a long way over to the left here, as he sorts himself out again, actually. That'll be because he wants to get the ideal run through Traguardo in turn 2 by being as close to the outside of the apex as he can be initially. Into position now, get the last few cars, and we will wait for the lights. Here they come. We've got 4 sets, and what's happening here? Oh, we had a jump start there from someone or other. I saw it in the mirrors. It was Lars Brugman. So Brugman has dropped to the back of the field with a jump start, and it's Hoekstra who leads away ahead of Stefan Rohr, and Niels Brugman makes it through in third, watching his brother's misfortune. Now, have we got every... Oh, in fact, Lars Brugman is retired, and Fabian Rieder has been for a spin. So after his best qualifying performance to date, unfortunately, Fabian Rieder has dropped towards the back of the order, and Lars Brugman is out. Now, we have Hoekstra from Rohr, Brugman, Nash and Lindberg, although that's very, very close here. And then it's Galka, Stefano and Vizil. As we head up to the very fast Piratella, Lindberg just showed his nose there to the mirror of Ryan Nash's car, but there was no way through there, as we expected that there wouldn't be, as Hoekstra runs slightly wide on the exit of Aqua Minerali, and was that Lindberg or Nash? One of the two ran even wider there. As we watch Stefan Rohr cresting the curbs, running over the white line on the exit of the chicane. The stewards won't be looking for that so much in the race as they were in qualifying. Down towards the double apex Ravazza, turns 14 and 15, and out to end the first lap. It's interesting that despite the fact the first lap tends to be about 5 seconds slower than the other laps, it always seems to go by the quickest, as Hoekstra, Rohr, Brugman, Nash, and where's Lindberg? Now Lindberg is not here, so something here has happened to Johan Lindberg. He's all the way down in, he's 13th, just up the inside now of Jacob Pegg. So whatever happened to Johan Lindberg, he's dropped further down the order than he was. Whoa, as Tristan Potters gets it very sideways over the curb and backs everyone up behind him. That's not what he would want to be doing there, just ahead of Jacob Pegg, and a couple of guys behind as well. And that could have been... Whoa! Round goes Tobias Olsen. Oh, wow. Wasn't Olsen further up the order as well? So, possibly both of those... Is that MDR? Or... it is... Ice Cold. So, but possibly both of those ice cold racing team cars having problems early on in this race. I've also noticed we appear to have lost Antonio Hreljanovic, and unfortunately I can't go back in the replay to check what happened. So I apologise about that, but I can't really show you what happened there. Fastest lap incidentally at the moment will go to Wopke Hoekstra, but we've only had one lap. So we'll see how that unfolds as the race goes on. Of course, the fastest lap does gift you 1 point, and who's going to get it this time around? We presume that lap 2 will be quicker than lap 1. It's Stefan Ruhl. So Stefan Ruhl actually started to gain on Wopke Hoekstra that time around. And it's all on for 5th here as Stefano and Vigil go side by side. And Stefano keeps that position for now. So Stefano keeps his 5th position. But it looked as if Roy Vigil had a real attack at him there. A real dive down towards Traguardo and Tamburello. But no move has yet been pulled off there by Roy Vigil, who runs wider on the exit than Wesley Stefano does, and that will be to try and get the best momentum out of the corner. But he did run over the grass, so that's going to hamper him a bit as they both run slightly wide at the Piratella. Looks like fairly wide, or within the rules rather, to me. But whoa, as Nash goes possibly wider than that down at Akram Nurali. Vigil tries to get the switch back, and he might get it here off the corner. In fact, he does, and that's a very good textbook switch back there from Roy Vigil to take 5th position. So it's Vigil in 5th, followed by Wesley Stefano, who's going to pop it to the outside now of Ravazza, and there's no real room through there, and he locks up and has a big slide actually. So Stefano drops down to 6th position and now drops further behind Vigil, but he'll be in the slipstream as we head down the around the fastest part of the track now. Not really a straight though, so slipstreaming not really going to come into that much of an effect today. Just scrolling through the top end of the order, Hoekstra and Ruhl, I believe, got closer still. No, they didn't get closer still because Hoekstra's last lap was not faster than Ruhl. So yeah, Ruhl has been gaining again on Wopke Hoekstra, and this could all change up the front of the order. The gap is 0.7 of a second, and this is a proper battle for the lead now. I know they're not side by side quite yet, but we do have two guys really not that far apart, and over the last 2 laps Ruhl has been closing. So let's see if Ruhl can launch an attack on Wopke Hoekstra before this race is done. That would really help his championship challenge, because as it stands he would be losing many points to Wopke Hoekstra. I believe that Hoekstra holds fastest lap so far. No, Ruhl holds fastest lap. So Ruhl would score 1 point higher than his position. Sorry, I'm just doing quick maths here. Right, so second is normally worth 17 points, but for Ruhl it would be worth 18 as he ducks into the slipstream of Wopke Hoekstra here. And Hoekstra would score 20, so that's 3 points. So Ruhl would be 2 points off the buffer as we're about to lap one of the ice cold racing cars. Now that will be Tobias Olsen, and that could actually come into play in this race here, because we if Hoekstra does get held up enough behind Tobias Olsen here, and of course we hope for Hoekstra's sake that he doesn't, and Olsen tends to be good at getting out of the way from what I've seen. I think I've only seen him getting lapped once so far, so I'm not entirely sure, but he seems to be a good, clean driver. But anyway, we'll see. But if Hoekstra does get held up behind him, then this could all change. The gap now is just 3/10. Oh, Hoekstra's gone very, very wide at Acqua Minerale, and this could be the chance that Stefan Ruhl needs towards the Variante Alta. Will he be able to get a switch back here like we saw happening for 5th place earlier? Not quite, but Hoekstra definitely went very wide on the exit, and I don't know what the stewards are going to say about track limits. To be honest, I think he probably lost out from that. Down towards Ravazza, not close enough. Will he be able to get to maximise the effect of the slipstream here down the not so straight front straight. We'll see just what happens, but this could definitely get very, very close. Let's see what happens. In fact, Hoekstra now has the slipstream from Tobias Olsen, who moves out of the way of the leaders as we head down the start-finish straight, but actually he's going to force them to go around the outside now. Will he back up before the corner? Yes, he does, very nicely. That's a good way to get out of the way without losing too much time, actually, so a very good piece of driving there from Tobias Olsen as we head down towards Villeneuve. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the gap as well if I possibly can. The gap that time round was 0.5 of a second, so half a second in it, but it looks closer than that to me now. Let's see if Röhrl can launch an attack. Surely not down into Piratella. That bit's too fast. But if Hoekstra makes another mistake at Aqua Minerale this time, like he did last lap, then Röhrl could be right here. Let's see what Hoekstra does. Keeps it, well, not quite within the lines, but possibly acceptably within the lines. And have we got Antonio Hreljanovic back in the race? No, we haven't. I just thought I saw his sector. No, his sector 1 time hasn't changed in a while. Never mind. It completely ignored me. And is Tobias Olsen out? No, he's just dropped down through the order. I reckon he probably had to pit, judging by how far behind he is. I reckon he probably had to pit for a new front wing or something like that. Now, back onto the start-finish straight. Let's see what Röhrl can do this time. He's again in the slipstream. And will he be able to launch a move down into Traguardo? This is for the lead and possibly for the championship. Round the outside! That's a great move! That's a brilliant move, in fact, from Stefan Röhrl. Wopke as well just had to let him go there because he knew that by risking anything more, he risked the championship. Because even if they finish like this, then Wopke will still have the advantage going into race 2. But that's a very good move there from Stefan Röhrl, of who I can see a supporter of in the chat. So a Stefan following here. Marius van Veek says go Stefan. Oh, and Antonio Hreljanovic says that he disconnected. So that is a big shame there from Antonio Hreljanovic. Bad luck there, I'm afraid. That's disappointing, surely, having to spectate a race from the sidelines. I know what it's like. I've DNF'd from an online simulator race before, and it's not fun to say the least. I've also noticed that Roy Vigil appears to be running the oh, hold on, it's changing for 5th. I can see that on my list here. We've got Ryan Nash and Matthew Williams, and I believe they actually just went side by side. Someone's dropped down the order here. Have they? Yeah, Matt Williams wasn't in 6th last time I looked. Anyway, he's going to the inside, down towards Ravazza. Not quite there. No room for an overtake there. Who was up that end of the order? It wasn't. It was. I'm really not sure, actually. If someone can remind me what I'm quite obviously forgetting in the chat, then that would be a big help here. As Williams dives to the inside now, he ducks and weaves behind Ryan Nash, but Nash just breaks later than him, and Williams cannot find a way through just yet. Possibly down into Villeneuve. Looks at the inside. That car there, Williams' car, definitely looks like it's running okay in the slipstream. That possibly needs... Oh, as he dives up the inside down into Toza. Maybe not quite so dives as I said. He just certainly had a look, possibly to intimidate Ryan Nash. He's going to the inside of Piratella. Now that would be impressive. If we saw a move at Piratella today, that would make my day, surely. Oh, he's just so close. It looks as if he could launch an attack absolutely anywhere. Does Matthew Williams here. Now I can also tell you... Oh, what's up? Okay. Niels Brugman has got past Wopke Hoekstra. So Hoekstra is now down into 3rd position. And it looks like he's made a mistake. Looks like... Oh, he's made quite a bad mistake, actually, because he's behind Tobias Olsen. Now, I didn't see what happened there. But that does decrease Wopke's points buffer if it is to finish like this. And I'm really not sure how that happened, but whatever the case, it's changed. So Niels Brugman is now in 2nd position, and Hoekstra has gone from 1st to 3rd in just 4 or 5 laps. And that is well, that shows to me that Hoekstra's race setup might well be worse than his qualifying setup, because he could obviously stick it on pole, and he might have been hoping, seeing as this is a hard track to overtake at, that he wasn't going to get past, as of course all drivers would hope. But obviously he has been, and it looks like he's dropped quite a long way back now from Brugman and Rill. So I'm really wondering whether he made a big error, like a spin. In fact, his last lap was 6 seconds off. So yeah, he's had a spin, surely. So Hoekstra down to 3rd now, with he's 7.5 seconds away from the leader. So yeah, unfortunate from Wopke Hoekstra. And indeed, Roy Vizil is running a different tyre to most of the other guys. There are a couple of other guys running the harder compounded tyres, but most guys have started on the softer compound. We do tend to see pit stops in the first race here at the WCS League, so that's not entirely surprising. You can see that Tristan Potters is also running on the harder compound, as is Fabian Rieder. So both of the TR Bluvos cars are running on the harder compound. But anyway, most guys will be starting on the softs and going to the hards as the race continues. Where's the closest battle on the track? I believe it's actually the battle for 10th. So that'll be between Chris Kinsman here and oh, actually that's dropped off a bit now. It looked as if Fournier was very close to Chris Kinsman, but that's obviously changed quite recently. A couple of guys also dropping away from the pack. Wesley Stefano, that's who was up the order early on. He's dropped right down the order. He's now running in 15th position. So, whoa, as we have a spin from Chris Kinsman, just caught it out of the corner of my eye. And Kinsman spins away from 10th position. Where is he going to end up in the order? He is 13th. So, big disappointment there for Chris Kinsman. That's quite a few points he's missed out on, actually. 10th place is worth, as I get up my very informative and very useful sheet again, 10th place is worth, oh bother, where am I looking? 6 points. So 10th place is worth 6 points, and 13th is worth, is it? Yeah, it's 3 points. So he's lost out on 3 points there. And for Chris Kinsman, who is running, where's he running in the championship? 23rd. Yeah, 3. Oh, I tell you what, if he had 3 more points in the championship at the moment, he'd actually be 2 positions up ahead of Jason Muscat and Mikkel Galka. So that would really change his championship situation here. And it's small mistakes like that, unfortunately, that separate some drivers from other drivers in terms of the final championship standings, which is a shame, but that's how motorsport is. It's consistency over speed a lot of the time. That's also why Wopke Hoekstra is leading the championship now, I think, because Hoekstra only has 3 wins to Ruhl's oh my word, 8. So 3 wins to Ruhl's 8, and yet Hoekstra is leading the championship. Partly because Ruhl missed a round and therefore 2 races early on in the championship. That was at Monza. But also partly because Hoekstra's other results have been very consistent. For example, Hoekstra has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 second places, whereas Ruhl has 3. So that that can sometimes be what decides a championship, and that might well be what decides this one. But we'll have to wait and see. Of course, drop scores might also come into play in this championship, because if Wobke scores a lower result than, I think it is 8th, the score doesn't count. So, well, we'll see. We'll see how that comes into play. It probably shouldn't, judging by where the drivers are in the actual race. Oh, that was a spin. That was Tobias Olsen, wasn't it? If I work my way up through the order. Yeah, Olsen's had a spin. Also, I believe that Rink Hoekstra rather, has had a pit stop, because he found his way behind Tobias Olsen and a long way behind while no one was looking. So I think that Hoekstra and Olsen have both had pit stops. In fact, as unfortunately Johan Lindberg, we've also lost from the order now. In fact, that might well, as we have a couple of pit stops now actually, De Vries and I believe Kinsman was also into the pits there. Yeah, we're getting a couple of guys into the pits now. If I look up through the order, yeah, Wopke Hoekstra's in. So this might have actually been what happened to Wesley Stefano earlier in the race. He might have had an early pit stop. I don't think he did actually, but that might have been why he dropped through the order. Whatever the case, Stefan Rühl is also in, so our race leader is also into the pits, and that will put Niels Brugman into the lead of the race so far, followed by Roy Vigil. But of course, that's only temporary, and I believe the gap between Rühl and Hoekstra has severely decreased here. So Rühl now might come under attack again from Wopke Hoekstra, and if Hoekstra's car is set up better for the harder tyre that they're on now than it is for the softer tyre, this could be a very good situation for Wopke Hoekstra, and let's see what he can do in the act of catching Stefan Rühl here. Of course, he doesn't need to for the championship, because he will still be ahead of Rühl if they do finish as they are in the championship standings, but he will want as big a buffer as he can get, just in case he has a terrible race in race 2. And well, we'll have to see just what happens in terms of this battle here. This will definitely be one to watch as the race goes on. In fact, the gap is actually 0.4 of a second, so that has really come down now to just 0.4 of a second, and that could really change the championship here. In fact, Wopke's second sector is the personal best of the race. So Hoekstra definitely flying now on the harder tyre, I should point out. It will be harder for most people to set a faster lap now, because they're on their harder tyre and not their softer tyre. But on the harder tyre, Wopke Hoekstra is flying. And in fact, he's going to the inside now of Stefan Rühl as we head down towards Traguardo. Rühl brakes later and sweeps across the nose, and Stefan Rühl keeps the position. But Wopke certainly showed his nose there, and this could all change. As actually Wopke just got held up by his. Actually, I don't know what relation Rink is to Wopke, so I shouldn't say anything there. But he just got held up slightly by Rink, having to go to the inside rather than the outside, which Rühl went to. And to be honest, there might well be a couple of stern words after the race between Wopke and Rink. Of course, they are teammates at Wopke Hoekstra. That's the entry of the team, I believe. Oh no, it isn't. What am I saying? That's just what it is on my site. What's the team name? I can never remember this one. It's CM Tech. So at CM Tech, we might well see stern words, or hear stern words after the race between the two. So Niels Brugman, will he pit next lap? So he stayed out for this lap, as has Roy Vigil. They appear to be going for longer stints than everyone else. Vigil, I can see going for a while longer, because he started the race on the harder compound, unlike some of the other guys around him, whereas Niels Brugman is on the softer compound. So to be honest, this will probably be the lap that he pits. And it'll be interesting to see where he comes out as well. Of course, he was second before he went into the pits, but with Hoekstra so close to Ruhl, and Ruhl actually having to defend on the last lap, if Brugman can maximise this strategy, he might well lead this race after his pit stop. And we'll have to see how that plays out, because if he does, that could be interesting with the, for the championship, with both drivers here scoring fewer points than they otherwise would do. And to be honest, that would benefit Wopke Hoekstra, because it would mean that Ruhl would not be able to close the buffer quite so much. Ruhl needs to score quite a few points here in this weekend. Of course, he was 16 points behind heading into this round. But it could definitely still change, especially with Ruhl finishing ahead of Hoekstra, which it looks like he might well do. Not to put a curse on anyone else, of course. Is Brugman into the pits? No, he isn't, and neither is Roy Vigil. That we expect. Brugman we don't expect. So Brugman is still out and still leading at this point, but that is only temporary because he has not yet made his pit stop. Whereas other drivers, what's happened to? Has Hoekstra had another spin? Hoekstra has dropped right off the back of Stefan Ruhl all of a sudden, and he's now a long way behind. Where 4.8? Yeah, he's had another spin, surely. So Hoekstra might well be in the lead of this race by now, had it not been for two big mistakes, neither of which we've seen. But whatever the case, Hoekstra has dropped right off the back now of Stefan Ruhl's car. And that could be drama in terms of the overall championship, as well as in terms of the race result. I'm going to quickly switch to Niels Brugman's car to see if he will pit this time around. I expect that he probably will. Will he? Is he staying out? He is. So Brugman going for one of the longest stints I've ever seen on that tyre. And this is a very long stint. A couple of guys in the pits, actually. Jacob Pegg I see in there getting lapped now. And Wesley Stefano as well was also in the pits there. Unfortunately, I believe we've also lost from this race Tobias Olsen. I'm just going to double check that. Whoa, as Ruda goes off again. Oh dear. And that's going to lose him another place to Menno Klont. There he goes. Yep, so Ruda unfortunately losing a couple of places there. He's now down to 12th position. Of course, you get points down to 15th, but unfortunately for Ruda, oh, is he going to dive to the inside of Menno Klont? Is he? No, not quite. I might actually come back to this battle, but just to check, yeah, unfortunately we have lost Tobias Olsen. This is a good battle here in the midfield, actually. We've got Jacob Pegg, Menno Klont, Fabian Ruda, Chris Kinsman and Wesley Stefano not far behind either. This is a good old scrap in the midfield. And Ruda looking very racy to get his position back past Menno Klont. Of course, he lost it through a... Oh, he's been hit from the rear, actually, by Chris Kinsman there. But luckily doesn't go around like I expected he might do. Kinsman now to the inside, but Ruda defends it well. So, Ruda went for one position, almost lost another, got tagged in the rear end. Luckily, no one came off that badly there, as we have Pegg and Klont side by side for 10th position, and through goes Menno Klont. Off again goes Fabian Ruda and Wesley Stefano, who goes for a spin. So, and into the pits finally comes Niels Brugman. So Brugman is into the pits. If I switch up through the audit, yeah, he's into the pits, onto the harder compound, and where will he come out in relation to his rivals? Also into the pits is Roy Vigil behind him on the harder tyre. So that's a very, very good stint from Niels Brugman to make the soft tyre last as long as the harder tyre did. Now, will Ruhl be ahead? He will be. So Ruhl is in first, Brugman is in second, and Hoekstra has dropped even further now away from Stefan Ruhl. 2 seconds back on that lap. Or on the last lap rather. So Hoekstra is in trouble here, and he has been jumped in the overall order now. What's happened here? Niels Brugman's out of the race. Niels Brugman, who was leading the race for a very long time, is out, and I can't explain that. How's that happened? Did he crash on the pit exit? Or at Traguardo? I have no idea, but that's absolute drama because one of the guys who could have got between the championship deciders will not do. And that could be the championship for Wupke Hoekstra here, as we have lost Niels Brugman. Now, it might have been a disconnection. We've seen a disconnection so far in this race from Antonio Sreljanovic, so it wouldn't be unheard of, but it would be desperately disappointing. And I'm afraid we have lost Niels Brugman. But my goodness, what drama we have witnessed here. Klont and De Vries are close as Klont goes to the inside. No real room there at Traguardo. That's for 11th position now that Brugman's out. And Klont, of course, might come under attack from Fabian Rüder now. Rüder seems to definitely have the pace of some of the really quick guys in this race. Doesn't appear to have the consistency in this run over the grass or the gravel a couple of times. Of course, had a spin on the first lap of this race, but definitely has potential. We'll have to see what he does as his career progresses. Very, very young driver Fabian Rüder is, and definitely a lot in store for him if he can keep the car on the road. Saying that, he has a big wiggle there, but anyway. So after the pit stages, the order is Ruhr leading, followed by Hoekstra, Vigil, Williams, Nash, Fournier, Galka, Potters, Kinsman and De Vries. Those are the top 10, and then we have Klont, Rüder, Pegg and Hoekstra rounding out the cars that are still in the race. And our retirements so far are Niels Brugman, Wesley Stefano, Tobias Olsen, Johan Lindberg, Antonio Sreljanovic and Lars Brugman. So unfortunately we've lost both Brugmans, as Klont is now going to attack De Vries presumably. He goes up the inside of the straight, and he'll be on the outside of turn 1 here. And he does not get through down towards turn 2. Now, out of Tamburello, he gets a very good run, in fact, but Villeneuve is a very, very fast chicane, so it's always difficult to pass there, and not many overtakes are ever actually successful when they are attempted at Villeneuve. I believe these two, despite the fact they are battling, are actually catching Chris Kinsman here, so they have to be careful not to take each other off, because if they kind of work together for a bit, they can kind of drag themselves closer to Chris Kinsman, which would be beneficial for the both of them. Of course, this is for 9th position now. Oh, as Kinsman runs wide, and I make a very silly noise. And they're side by side. So De Vries is on the outside. If he holds it there, this will turn into the inside. No. So not quite able to get through there, although Klont might well attack De Vries on the exit here. In fact, he's going to get through. So Klont now up into 10th position, past Gerrit De Vries. And as I was drinking my water bottle, De Vries went slightly wide, and now Rüder has taken the place. So De Vries, not happy with that, is going to come around the outside. This will turn into the inside very shortly, and this could well play into the hands of Gerrit De Vries here. The part-time cameraman, part-time racer, part-time something else as well, I believe. And indeed he does get through. So there he goes, up into 11th position. Fastest lap of the race, I should point out, is still held by Stefan Röhrl as we head into 20 out of 27 laps completed. So Stefan Röhrl would collect another point for that if the result stays as it is. Of course, all of the top guys now are on, or most of the top guys rather, are on the softer compounded tyre. So it would take a very, very good lap from a guy on harder tyres to set that fastest lap. And to be honest, Wupke Hoekstra will be feeling a bit desperate here, because he knows that rather than scoring the point on fastest lap, he'll have to do it in the race. But he has 5.5 seconds to catch on Stefan Ruhl in just 7 laps, and that's very, very difficult unless Ruhl makes a massive mistake. In fact, there are still some top guys on softer tyres as Kinsman goes wide and Klont has the inside, but Kinsman is just able to have that line there and keeps his position. But up the front, Roy Vigil, of course, starts on the harder tyre, so he's on the softer tyre now. And also Jeffrey Fournier and Tristan Potters are running in the top 10 with softer tyres. However, none of those guys quite lapping at the same pace that Ruhl and Hoekstra did when they had the softer compounded tyres. In fact, Ruhl and Hoekstra, the only 2 guys actually into the 131s on their hot laps, and Ruhl was in the 131.3, so an amazing lap on race fuel from Stefan Ruhl. Of course, he would have been quite heavy on fuel actually, because it would have been earlier in the race. And that's an impressive lap there from Stefan Ruhl. Also, Johan Lindberg has pointed out that with his retirement, Holland Racing Team win the team's championship. So, Holland Racing Team have won the team's championship. If Lindberg's to be believed, which I presume he is. But anyway, Holland Racing Team with Gerrit de Vries and Stefan Ruhl. Very good performance here. Long bid spin! Menno Klont into the wall. He just took a bit too much curb, then tried to put the power down slightly too soon. Luckily, he hasn't lost his front wing. Just make sure that he's not going to join into anyone's path. Oh, is that suspension damage? That might well be suspension damage. I'm going to go on board just to double check that. No, it isn't. It looks as if he was just wiggling because he got onto the grass a bit as Rienk Hoekstra goes through. Or is that Wopke Hoekstra? That's Rienk Hoekstra. No, it is Wopke. Okay, so Wopke Hoekstra will have just lapped him there. But anyway, big spin for Menno Klont, and that has dropped him to 12th position. Oh, Gerrit de Vries and Fabian Ruder have come together. So Gerrit de Vries celebrates his team's championship victory by spinning in front of Fabian Ruder. Now, I didn't see what happened there. It might have been that Ruder tipped him into a spin. It might have just been that Gerrit de Vries spun and Ruder collected him. I didn't see, but whatever the case, those two have had it coming together. I don't think either of them have lost positions, though, because they were a long way ahead of the people behind them in the order anyway with Menno Klont's spin. They're running 10th and 11th, respectively. Well, I don't know of any ongoing stewards investigations, but if we do hear of them, we'll hear of them after the event. Also, Stefan Ruhl was coming through to lap them at the same time, so he was lucky that that didn't happen slightly further back on the track, because that would have given Ruhl something to dodge and something to send his heart racing. And of course, if you get it slightly wrong, you can often go into the back of someone else's incident, and that can be very, very bad and very, very frustrating for a driver. The De Vries Ruder battle is not quite over yet. In fact, it's really not over, because through the last checkpoint they were less than half a second apart. I believe they're more than that now. But if De Vries makes a slight mistake, or if Ruder just gets a good lap together, then we might well see Ruder launch an attack on Gerrit de Vries. And also, let's point out that people in this part of the order might well have a good situation for the reverse grid as well, because the reverse grid pole could be anywhere from 11th to 15th position, and this could be any of these drivers. So, oh, I see a front wing, and it's yellow. It's Rienk Hoekstra, so no panicking for Wopke Hoekstra. But however that's happened, it's Rienk Hoekstra, currently in the last position of the runners, who is running round without a front wing, and you can see the obvious aerodynamic loss there as he cuts over the Aqua Minerale chicane. Back to Ruder versus De Vries. De Vries goes wide, and this might well give Ruder a good opportunity to attack. They're also going to have to get out of the way of Wopke Hoekstra before long. Oh, contact again! Oh, these two can't stop coming together, can they? But Ruder rather gets the position done, and De Does he know that Wopke Hoekstra is coming through? Needs to get out of the way of him. Oh, he's cut right across his nose there. I'm afraid that's not... Oh, he's been hit! Oh, dear! De Vries and Rude come together again! And that is so... I mean, that's 3 times in 1 lap. Or in 2 laps, rather. These two really need to calm down when it comes to racing each other. And they so nearly took off Wopke Hoekstra as well. Rude cutting straight across in front of him, I'm afraid. He's going to have that pointed out to him after the race. If not by Wopke, by someone else, because I'm afraid that was quite an immature bit of driving there from Fabian Rude, and I'm sure Wopke will agree with me. Maybe he thought it was Rian Hoekstra behind him and not Wopke, but still, you would have seen the blue flags on the screen. Menno Klont has had another spin and he's lost his nose, so Klont now is going to drop from 10th down the order without a nose. Here is going to go Fabian Rude. Not quite yet. Yeah, there he goes. Gets the switch back because Klont is just understeering and understeering like a train, really. Not that trains understeer because there is a rail for them to stick to, but you get what I mean. I hope. Down towards Aqua Minerale. Klont is really going to have to slow down here because this is a very tight section of track. It really hooks round on itself, and actually De Vries has had to go very wide to avoid him here. In fact, Klont should probably be defending a bit less without a front wing because he knows that he won't be able to hold them off for long. And well, to be honest, he has held them off for long, so I don't know. But anyway, De Vries taking drastic avoiding action as he needed to there. Down towards... Ooh, look at that massive lockup. He'll need to change tyres when he pits for this as well. Because of that lockup, he'll have terrible flat spots. He's not pitting. So, does he know he's lost his front wing? Whatever the case, Menno Klont is not coming into the pit. And now we're getting into the realms of being dangerous, actually. I mean, I've seen penalties before because of damaged cars continuing in a race. But yeah, okay, well, okay, he's gone into the... No, he hasn't gone into the gravel. He just let De Vries through there. So De Vries gains the position and goes up into 11th place now. And I don't know. Yeah, he's going to... It looks like Klont's going to lose out to Jacob Pegg here as well. Yeah, in fact, Pegg's going to go through at Tozer. So there he goes. I don't think he's going to lose out to Rian Hoekstra because Hoekstra is, I believe, running a lap down, is he? I mean, a lap down on Klont. I think Hoekstra might, or Rian Hoekstra might well be running a lap down on Menno Klont, who is understeering left, right and centre, or rather anywhere but the centre at the moment. Oh my word. This is a very unique line to the circuit, I must say. And surely he must pit this lap round. In fact, I think it was a big mistake that he didn't last lap. But he might just have forgotten, or he might just have not realised that he'd lost his front wing. But surely he knows now. And we'll see this time round whether he does actually pit or not. It's getting rather close now for 7th position. And also between this position for De Vries and Pegg. But I'm going to switch up to... Oh, Potters is going slowly. What's happened to Potters? Has he had a spin? Is his engine running? No, it isn't. It is, but he hasn't got much infinite. What position are we in now? Oh, Galke and Kinsman have come together as well. And Potters is making his way through the middle, so... Oh, the race is over! Oh, dear! Okay, well, I didn't realise because I was... My sheet on the right, my timing sheet says we're on lap 26. Okay, well, big apologies for that. That's my timing sheet's fault, partly, and partly mine as well. It says lap 26. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, Ruhl is the winner and extends or closes up that championship buffer. Wopke Hoekstra is in 2nd. Roy Vazil finishes 3rd on the alternate strategy. Great drive from Roy Vazil. Matthew Williams is in 4th. In fact, I don't think I've heard of Matthew Williams' name before, so that's an impressive drive. Ryan Nash is 5th. Jeffrey Fournier is 6th. Michael Galke is 7th. Tristan Potters is 8th. Chris Kinsman is 9th. Fabian Rude finishes in 10th. Gerrit De Vries is 11th. Jacob Pegg is 12th. Menno Klont is 13th. That's why he didn't pit, because he was simply so close to the end of the race. Rink Hoekstra is 14th. If I look back a second, Niels Brugman, unfortunately, is the first of the retirements from second position, and I still don't know how that happened. In 15th, Wesley Stefano is 16th. Buzz Olsen is 17th. Johan Lindberg is 18th. These are all DNFs, of course. Antonio Hreljanovich, rather. Unfortunately, we saw disconnecting, and finally, Lars Brugman retired at the start of the race after a jump start. So that is the order after the first race, and the fastest lap went to Stefan Ruhl. So Stefan Ruhl gains 4 points there on Wopke Hoekstra, meaning that the gap for the lead of the championship is now 12 points, and 12 points is, well, it's not easily attainable so long as Wopke finishes high up the order. What position's worth 12th? Fourth. Fourth is worth 13 points. So if Wopke finishes fourth at all, or finishes... Yeah, so if Wopke finishes fourth at all in race 2, the championship is over. And Wopke wins it. Well, the championship will be over anyway, of course, because we're about to go into the last race of the season. But... If Wopke finishes in the top 4, he wins the championship. So long as Wopke brings it home in the top 4, which we all know he's very capable of doing, then we will see him crowned champion. But Stefan Ruhl, of course, has already sealed 1 race win, so we know he's quick here. But well, I fear that race 2 will be very much what Wopke can do. Now we're going to go for a quick 5 to 10 minute break here before the second race. So hope you enjoyed race 1. Stay tuned for race 2, where we will see the championship decided.
User joined your channel.
Hello. Are we in a live broadcast?
Sorry, I just muted my mic. Yes, we are. Sorry, I wasn't quite ready for that. But yes, we're in a live broadcast,
Hey.
Menno. Yeah.
Hey, guys. So yeah, I thought I would join you for a bit. So here, yeah. Well, race too soon. So
Yes.
please,
So
yeah.
race 1 was a bit up and down for you. We saw 13th
Wow.
place in the end. Crossing the line without a front wing as well. Yeah. Talk us through that race.
Well, yeah, that was one of my worst sim races I ever did. Qualifying was pretty difficult. I was faster, but I made a mistake. Race itself, the first few laps were pretty good. I spun and I was P8. Then around my pit stop, I spun again, and I lost a lot of time. So in the end, I was 12th. I was up to P10. Spun was 12 again. Jumped up to 10. Was about to attack for P9 on Chris Kinsman, but yeah, I wanted too much, and it was a totally unnecessary to crash there, but I did. So yeah, no front wing, so I thought I'd just not pit and finish it, because I believe that was only the last 1.5 laps. So yeah, P12, it's a shame. I wanted to have pole for race 2, or a good starting position for race 2, so now I'm starting on 12 or 13, I believe 13 or 12 with Matthew Williams not here, so yeah, we shall see. Yeah, well, we shall see what race 2 brings. But yeah, I'm going to head back into that other channel here. So I wanted to say that to you. And
Okay, yeah, good luck for race 2. Unfortunately, you're not going to be starting any higher up the grid, because I believe the reverse grid has been drawn as 11, putting Fabian Ruder on pole. But yeah, good luck anyway.
But yeah, we shall see that. So what happens? So let's see who's champion in the race.
Yeah, championship still alive.
Yeah, I believe the gap is now 11 points, or what is it?
Yes, 12 actually. So yeah, very close. Well, not very close if Wopke doesn't make a mistake in this race, but we've seen him make a couple of mistakes, and well, he will have to fight his way up through the order, starting starting that far back. So this yeah, could change.
Oh, but his main rival needs to work up as well. So I think Wopke has it all in his own hands. So goodbye, guys. We'll speak to you later. Bye bye.
See you, Menno.
Bye bye.
Right, that was Menno Klont there. Driver for Multiforce GP, and he will be starting this next race from 12th, I believe, because we don't have Chris Kinsman in the race. So we might not we might not be seeing Wopke. Not Wopke. Why am I saying Wopke? I'm getting distracted here. Menno right up the front of the order in race 2, but still, it would be good for him to get a good result sooner or later. I remember that he's actually quite quick in a Formula Challenge car, especially. I remember watching him actually winning a race in a Formula Challenge car at Yas Marina at the end of the GPVWC Formula Challenge season. So he goes well at Yas Marina. Actually did all 3 of the career ladder races in that weekend. Did especially well in Formula Challenge. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how he does in race 2. A couple of other guys I also want to point out. Ryan Nash was just making everyone laugh in the chat, and indeed he did do very well in the actual race. 5th place, despite having very limited experience. Also, as I said, I believe that the reverse grid pole is going to Fabian Ruder. It is indeed. So Fabian Ruder will be starting from the reverse grid pole, and that will put him a very good position here. Reverse grid pole is a good opportunity for the not so able yet or not so experienced drivers to have a chance up the front. And at a circuit like Imola, where overtaking is very difficult. I mean, Fabian was talking about the dirty air in the YouTube chat just now. Talking of the YouTube chat, Marius van Veek has just said bye, so goodbye if you're going. Hope to see you again next season. But yeah, because of all the dirty air you experience at Imola, the order could all change. Now I'm going to get the live pictures up actually, because we are just about to get the formation lap underway. There is Fabian Ruder's car. Nice helmet he's got there. Very, very nice. I don't think he designed the helmet himself, because I've seen his helmet because I've raced with it in the ITC, and I don't think it's that. So he possibly took over someone else's car there, but whatever the case, that's a nice helmet actually. I believe it might actually be Michael Teichmann's helmet. So that's going back a few races. As off onto the formation lap we go, as Chris Kinsman just kind of shows his nose to Fabian Ruder. It shows that he's there. Also, it's a good day for TR Bluvos because they are starting first and third in this order, so it's a chance to shine for them. I was on the practice server with them the other day, and I was having a bit of friendly competition with them, I must say, but both of them. Of course, they are my teammates in the ITC, but anyway, less about me. Mikkel Galka rather, not Michael, I have to get out of the habit of saying that, is starting in 4th position, followed by Jeffrey Fournier, Ryan Nash, Roy Vizil, Wopke Hoekstra, Stefan Ruhr, Gerrit de Vries, Jacob Pegg, Menno Klont, Rienk Hoekstra, Wesley Stefano, Johan Lindberg, Antonio Hreljanovic, Lars Brugman and Sven de Vries. So, our championship protagonists are starting 8th and 9th, and if Wopke wants to completely seal the title and make sure that there is absolutely no chance that Ruhr can snatch it off him, he needs to finish 4th. But if he finishes lower than that and Ruhr does not score 12 points more than him, then it could still all be over. And I've just calculated that wrong, haven't I? Because it's not... 4th is where... Yeah, 4th is where Wopke would have to finish if 4th is where Stefan would have to finish if Wopke was to retire from this race. As we get a lot of... Did that just happen? No. That's a lag spike, isn't it? A lag spike's caused that. Yeah, oh my word. We're going to have to restart this. Yeah. Absolute carnage has just occurred. And everyone... Now what happened there was there was a big lag spike. We saw it on the screen. And many cars kind of didn't know where they were going, and they all crashed into each other because they couldn't see each other for all of the lag. And now we've had to restart the formation lap. So, well, that's an aborted start for you. But anyway, as I was saying, 4th is where Stefan would have to finish if Wopke did not finish the race. So, right, if Wopke wins this race with fastest lap, he scores 21 points, meaning that Stefan... Okay, so no, if Stefan, sorry, I'm rambling a bit here. I'm just trying to do maths while I'm counting, quick maths, as Antonio Hreljanovic picked me out on saying earlier. Excuse the subtle reference there. Right, what am I talking about? So, right, before I go completely off topic, we got Stefan Ruhr would score 21 points for a win with a fastest lap. Meaning Wopke Hoekstra would need to finish... oh, my brain's completely turned... Okay, well, my brain's completely turned off and I've just dropped something, so that's helpful. So 9 points. 9 points is what Wopke would have to score, which means 7th. So But he wouldn't need to score 7th. He'd need to score more. So he'd need to score. So he'd need to score 6th. So if Stefan wins this, Wopke needs 6th. Therefore, if Wopke finishes 6th at all, then the championship is sealed in his favour. Right, now we've got that sorted. Well, now I can go back to watching the cars. We're getting them out onto the grid for the second time now. Of course, the first one slightly or very anticlimactic due to the unfortunate lag spike on the formation lap. But anyway, off we go on the start of the second formation lap. Hopefully, it's a clean one. I had a lag spike once. It was actually in my first or second ITC race when everything just stopped and I very nearly ran into the back of someone else. Luckily, no one did run into the back of anyone else there, so everything was fine. But it was very, very close at that one point. And to be honest, the trick is to just keep your speed constant and hope that everyone else does too. And sadly, that's not what just happened a few minutes ago with the WCS League. But to be honest, when you're driving around people who you can't even see, you can't blame them, can you? So, yeah, it's just a slightly anticlimactic start, but we're going to get another start now. So let's go. Unfortunately, it looks as if my timing screen appears to have frozen in the warm-up session. So I now have no idea who's doing what in terms of lap times. But anyway, we're going to go on board with Fabian Ruder for a bit as he warms his tyres. This is what you tend to see drivers doing on the formation lap, just to get the tyres up to the peak temperature before they start the race, so that they have the max grip. Oh, he's moved a bit too much there and gone into the grass, in fact. But anyway. Here is Wopke Hoekstra in prime position now to win the championship. If they are to finish as they start, Hoekstra will be champion. But here is Stefan Ruhl. His heart will be absolutely pounding. It is all about what these two men can do now and where they will finish in this race. Also, fastest lap could really be a playing point as well, because that's one extra point. As into the number 1 grid slot comes... Oh, and over the number 1 grid slot comes Fabian Ruder. Don't worry, you can reverse back into the slot. You're perfectly allowed to do that. And starting in last place will be Sven de Vries, because we've lost a couple of people from the order. We've lost Williamson, for example, so Matthew Williamson, and we've also lost someone else, and I don't know who that will be. But anyway, into the final grid slot is going to come... Sven de Vries, and there he stops. Now let's wait for the lights. Here they come. Go! Now they go green slightly early, which caught someone out in the first race. I don't know if there were any jump starts there, but look at Tristan Potts is going to get second off the line. So Potts moves up to second, and it's a TR Bluvos 1-2 as we head down through turn 2, and Fabian Ruder has extended his lead initially. This is a perfect position for Fabian Ruder, because he has his teammate behind him holding up the rest of the pack, and this could be very, very good for Fabian Ruder as the field streams through. Ruhl is ahead of Hoekstra, and that's what he wanted to do at the start, because of course his only chance of winning the championship is if he finishes ahead of Hoekstra, and a long way ahead of Hoekstra. So he needs to start his charge now. As we look to the front of the order, Fournier is attacking for third position on Mikkel Gauke. He's going to the inside of Piratella, has a slight wiggle. We're not expecting any overtakes to come there, as Chris Kinsman is attempting to get his move back, and actually sweeps around the outside. Will he go up the inside? No, he's bounced over the curb and he loses it. That was a brilliant move he pulled initially on Geoffrey Fournier, but unfortunately he's thrown it all away by bouncing over the curb. Big problem for Fabian Ruder, who goes too deep into the first of the 2 corners, and that's given the place to Tristan Potters, his teammate. So Potters leads this race now for Fabian Ruder. Ruder was lucky he didn't lose another position, but luckily for them, they're ahead of the rest of the order. I've also just been asked how many laps are in this race, and if my race view server ever... Oh, Ruder's off! Ruder's off again. No. Oh no, Ruder, who had such a good chance of a great result here, has spun away from that position, and that's heartbreaking. I know how much he wants this win. I'm good friends with Fabian, in fact, and I know how much he is hoping for his first win, and he'd wanted to get it this season, and he was in prime position with a pole position, and he was running in second, but sadly too many mistakes in one lap, possibly getting overexcited there, and definitely getting overexcited, I'm afraid, and just unfortunately binning it on the opening lap of the race, and that's not what you want to do from pole position, as Roy Vazil goes for third rather on Mikkel Galka, and he pulls that place, does he? Up towards Piratella. Look at Stefan Rull getting stuck in there as well. Rull to the inside, but he's not going to be able to pull the move quite yet, as we head down towards Aqua Minerale and up the hill again. It's a real down up track. Ooh, big spin, Chris Kinsman. So Kinsman is off, and tags the wall getting going again. Where will he drop to? It will be last, so that will be, oh, not quite last, he's actually in 17th position out of 18. Antonio Frelianovic has dropped behind him, so possibly a mistake at the start there for Frelianovic as well. And the order is Potters, Fournier, Vigil, side by side, Galka, and Rultov there, and he's going to lose another position, and that's seriously going to delay his charges, or his charge. Oh, but we've had a spin from Roy Vazil, so that's going to give one more position, as Vigil now drops down into 11th, and he's going to keep dropping. Actually, he's lost a place to Lindbergh. He's down to 12th. What about Jacob Pegg? He also goes through. What about Rink Hoekstra? He is going up the inside of both of them, and will he get both of them in one move? Yes, indeed, that's a very good move from Rink Hoekstra, who I believe is the oldest in the field. Oh, and he goes off on the outside. So, oops, throws that away immediately, I'm afraid. As Ryan Nash has been off at the back, and he's going to spin it. No, he's not. He held it in the gravel, but he's got a long road to recovery there. As Chris Kinsman is going to... I thought they were going to make contact there. Luckily, they did not. And I believe that Potters is being reeled in now by Jeffrey Fournier. This has been a great performance immediately from Fabian... for Tristan Potters, really, to keep the lead, because Fournier is no slow driver. So this is a very good performance from him. Also, I've just been asked how many laps there are in this race, and to be honest, I do not know, because my timing sheet has frozen, and I can't tell from that screen. So unfortunately, I can't tell you that, but I'll be keeping an eye. I think I might have to keep the overlay on for some of this race. But anyway, this is for the lead, because Fournier has the slipstream, and he's going to the inside of Potters, which is going to turn into the outside, but he's done it before the corner. So Tristan Potters loses the lead of the race, and Jeffrey Fournier goes through. So Fournier leads this race on lap 4, and Fournier has taken the lead. Wopke Hoekstra is now up into 3rd position. So Hoekstra is in definite championship winning position, as he is ahead, a long way ahead now, of Stefan Rull, who is in 5th position. And a big slide there from Lars Brugman, who has made his way up 10 positions in this opening section of the race, from 17th on the grid. That's a good start from Brugman, despite the mistake at the start. It would have been interesting to see what he could have done in race 1 if he hadn't retired early, and I don't know how he retired early. We saw him jump in the start in race 1 due to the confusing lights going green rather than... or going green when... There are 4 sets of lights, one of them was green, that's what I mean. When they should all have been red and would have been at the other track, and to be honest, I can't really blame him for that. Here's Rull on his opening charge. Of course, he had made an error earlier in this race, and let's see if he can get his race back on track here. Going to the outside of the corner where he went off earlier, Ravazza, and he can't quite get past Mikkel Galka quite yet. Look at Lars Brugman and Meadow Klont behind as well. They're going for 6th position here. And Brugman is going to have to tuck back into the slipstream there. Let's watch Rull though, because this is for his charge in the championship if Wopke makes a mistake. He's going to crowd Gauka right to the inside of the corner, as he's entitled to do. All of them wiggle, but all of them make it through, and all in their same positions as well. But there's a real bunch of 4 cars here heading down towards Villeneuve, and it looks as if Lars Brugman is going to get 6th. Indeed he does, so a good move there from Lars Brugman at Villeneuve. That's a place we haven't really associated with moves so far this Wednesday, but that is a good move there from Lars Brugman to move him up into 6th position. And what has happened to Tristan Potters? He's dropped to 3rd, so Hoekstra now is up into 2nd, and that's very good for his championship, and he is right on the back now of Geoffrey Fournier for the lead of the race, and this could change. So, and it looks like it will change as well, because we're less than half of the way through the race, and Fournier is certainly not going to make it easy here for Wopke Hoekstra. Fournier is actually on the softer compound of tyre than Hoekstra is, so Fournier will have more grip unless he's bitten too much out of his tyre life. I can't remember off the top of my head whether we're expecting pit stops in the second race or not. But anyway, Hoekstra is going to the inside, and this looks like it'll be the race lead for Wopke Hoekstra. Let's watch it from on board. Yeah, indeed, Hoekstra has got it done nicely before the corner, and unfortunately Fournier can't attack back yet, but will he be able to attack down through Villeneuve? Unfortunately, that's only a place where Lance Brugman can overtake. Gets a good run out of it though, and will he be able to launch an attack down into Tosa? This is a corner you can overtake at on the exit if your opponent is slightly slower than you. In fact, he gets a good run, and if he can keep his nose alongside down towards Piratella, which Hoekstra is making absolute sure he cannot do, and indeed he doesn't. I was going to say he could possibly have kept the inside line, but that is very, very difficult to do, and Hoekstra keeps the lead of the race. So Wopke Hoekstra now leads this race from Geoffrey Fournier, who is not done yet, is he? He's definitely still there, waiting to pounce if Hoekstra is to make another error. And behind them is still Tristan Potters, heading for his best result and his first podium. Then Stefan Ruhl, Lars Brugman, Gerrit de Vries going very, very wide in 6th position there. Johan Lindberg and Roy Vizil, who are possibly going to go side by side here, and in fact they do. Vizil is going to be forced to the outside line though, and they make contact. Oh, is Lindberg going to hold it? He does indeed, and Vizil goes through in a very brave move. So that's that. Also, I don't think the front of the order is going to change this lap. That was where they pulled the move last time round. Mikkel Gauka and Fabian Ruder are close now. Ruder, of course, was on pole for this race, but dropped down the order after a couple of mistakes. But he has pulled this move now on Mikkel Gauka. That is for 9th position. And Gauka might get him back on the exit here. Gets a good run out. And will he pop it to the inside of Villeneuve? He does, but Ruder has the line. So Ruder does have 9th position back there, ahead of the rest of the pack. Menno Klont, I'm afraid we've lost. So unfortunately, our first retirement from this race is Menno Klont, and the last race position at the moment is being taken up by Chris Kinsman, who actually started on the front row of the grid. But again, the front row of the grid in this race, unfortunately, have both made quite a few mistakes and dropped down through the order. But of course, we saw Kinsman spinning and then clipping the barrier when trying to get it going earlier. I don't think he would have picked up any damage from that, but you have to be careful with what angle you do that at. We are just over half of the way through this race now. I think I'm going to have to keep this overlay on if my broadcast team don't mind too much, just so I can see when this race ends. Of course, I missed the end of the first race simply because my timing sheet told me that there was 1 lap to go when there really wasn't, and as a result I was really confused about that. But anyway, we're just over halfway through this race now, with Wopke Hoekstra leading. Nice pattern made on the G monitor there as he headed through Villeneuve, with the right or the left and then the right of pretty much the same G but in the other direction. It really does make a pattern on the indicator. Now, what's this next section of corners? This is Acqua Minerale done right, hopefully. Runs slightly over the line, but still, it is always very, very impressive when taken that fast. Whether they keep it within the lines or not, especially when they keep it in the lines, I should say. But it's one of those kind of scary corners that all drivers kind of look forward to and dread at the same time. Now, the battle is on for third place. This is not for the championship because Hoekstra is ahead, but Rühl still wanting to get his championship back on track in case Wupke makes a mistake. Oh, talking mistakes, Pottas has gone wide and he's lost 2 positions. So, unfortunately, Pottas has lost a podium position and Rühl and Brugman have both gone through there. And Pottas, who led the race earlier on, is now down into 5th position, and it's all going on down at Rivazza for 6th, 7th and 8th between Lindbergh, Vigil and De Vries respectively, and Vigil and De Vries are still side by side here as we head down towards Traguardo, and Vigil gets it, or keeps it rather, so that's stayed the same there. Unfortunately, my live timing screen has not started up yet, so I'm afraid that's probably not going to work. I think I'll have to scroll through the order a bit. Whoa, that was a bit of a slide from Johan Lindbergh there, but all seems fine. So the top 3 now are Wupke Hoekstra, Geoffrey Fournier and Stefan Rühl. If they finish in this way, of course, Wupke Hoekstra will be crowned champion of the 2017 WCS League from Stefan Rühl. Following them, we've got Lars Brugman and Tristan Pottas. And is that a spin? That is a spin for Fabian Rüde. So unfortunately, Rüde has gone round again and he's clipped the barrier. So a race that promised so much for Rüde at the start, unfortunately, is not promising much or anything now. He's down in 12th position. And that is a shame from Fabian Rüde. He doesn't appear to be crabbing or pulling in a straight line, so his suspension possibly not damaged. I don't know what it's like in the braking, but it seems fine there. But big disappointment for Fabian Rüde. I expect that he's going to be one driver who is going to have an absolutely shockingly brilliant season someday soon. Of course, at the moment he's too inconsistent for that. He puts in a few good laps and then spins. But once he gets his consistency together, remember that he's still very inexperienced and very young, he could really be a contender in whatever simulator series he does. As Wupke Hoekstra has a bit of a understeer there coming up towards Piratella. Wupke Hoekstra is an example of that, actually. Just competitive in whatever he does, as is Geoffrey Fournier, Lars Brugman and Stefan Rühl. Talking of Lars, okay, he is behind Stefan Rühl. I didn't see Rühl there for some reason, as Brugman goes wide at Acqua Minerale. I think wide at Acqua Minerale might well be the saying I've said the most in this Wednesday of racing. Now, Pottas and Rüde are reunited again after running first and second. Oh, slide and a spin for Mikkel Galka. That's dropped him down to 12th. And also, of course, Rink Hoekstra. So, 2 people spinning off there down at Acqua Minerale, and Hoekstra tags the wall trying to get it going. Has he? No, he's not stalled the engine. And he will get that car going. Unfortunately, well down the order in 15th place now. Still ahead of Ryan Nash, but possibly not for long. I believe that Nash is going to get that place, actually. And that's the final points position that Nash gets there. So Nash into 15th. Unfortunately, we have lost Wesley Stefano now. So Stefano is our 2nd retirement from this race. Now, who's close on track? It's still going to be this battle here between Pottas and Rüde, isn't it? So Pottas and Rüde reunited again after running 1st and 2nd earlier on in the race, but unfortunately for them, it's 10th and 11th that they're battling over now. And Rüde's going to go to the outside down towards Traguardo and doesn't get it done there. Of course, they have to be extra respectful with each other simply because they are teammates. Although I as I say, I've known both of them very well because of my Rowan GP connections. But I know that there is a lot of respect between the two of them. Whether there is when they're driving together, I don't know. Ruda! No! Into the wall again, and very nearly gets hit by Mikkel Galka. Now, is his suspension damage this time around? Not that I can see, which is good. But unfortunately, Fabian Ruda down to 12th. This is what I'm speaking about. He's fast. He has the potential. I mean, you saw how he got away from the rest of the field at the start. He has potential, but he just keeps spinning. So, well, that's definitely something to work on. It's just irritating to see because it's. I mean, you will him to do well. Someone who obviously has the potential to score results, to score results, and yet he unfortunately just doesn't yet. But well, one day we'll see. Now, how far are we through the race? Really quite close to the end, so not much opportunity left for Stefan Rill. And this is a very good performance from Wopke Hoekstra. We're seeing the kind of end-of-season dominance that we sometimes see from great champions. And really, Wopke is going to be very pleased with this result if he keeps it like this. This will be the perfect way to end the season for him, with a win. And that's what he's aiming for now, and that's what he's heading for now. The number 1 on the car, he might well have the number 1 on it again next season. And unfortunately for Stefan Rill, he doesn't appear to be getting close enough here to launch an attack. And even if he did, he'd need Wopke to finish well down the order. So I'm afraid that unfortunately unfortunately for Rill, rather, it's not looking good for Rill. Now we are getting close for second between Stefan Rill and Geoffrey Fournier. I believe we will only have. Okay, so we gained 6. Yeah, so we will only have one more lap now. So we are on the final lap of the race. Final lap of the race now, and these two are. Possibly going to have a battle this time round. Now, if Wopke is to bin it on this lap, and fingers crossed that he doesn't for his sake, but if Wopke is to bin it on this lap, Rill will be champion. He is in position for that. So the championship could still change with one error from Wopke Hoekstra, and that's what keeps races like this tense. But as they stand, Wopke will be champion as we head up towards Piratella for one final time. And where is Wopke Hoekstra? He's completed the first sector. He's going to complete the second now. And I'm going to just pan down to make sure there's not going to be a move, or that there is going to be a move at the Variante Alta here for second place. No, he's not going to be close enough, as Wopke Hoekstra is going to round the final sector of the lap now. He has 2 Ravazzas to go, plus past where the Variante Bassa would be if we were using the chicane variant of the track, but we're not. So, round the final corner now comes Wopke Hoekstra, who is going to, barring any post-race penalties, win the championship there. Wopke Hoekstra wins the race and wins the championship. Rill takes second. He is ahead of Geoffrey Fournier as we cross the line now. Just... oh my word, Fournier so nearly got it back again. He finishes third. Lars Brugman is fourth. Johan Lindberg is going to come home in fifth. But no one here could stop Wopke Hoekstra in this race or this championship. And Wopke Hoekstra is the WCS League champion of 2017. Whoa, it's all this contact, and across the line backwards goes Sven de Vries. We saw someone take pole like that in Formula E a couple of days ago, but wow, that was quite a way to end the race. Roy Vazil is 6th, Antonio Shrelinovic is 7th, Sven de Vries is 8th, Gerrit de Vries is 9th, Mikkel Galka is 10th, Jacob Pegg is 11th, Chris Kinsman will be 12th, he will cross the line there, Ryan Nash will be 13th, Fabian Rieder, our pole sitter, will be 14th, 15th is Tristan Potters, in a day that looked so strong for TR Blue Voss until stuff happened. Rink Hoekstra in 15th takes the final point, and why is Tristan Potter's behind? Okay, well apparently Tristan Potter's finished behind Rink Hoekstra, and then our two final drivers in that race who did not finish were Wesley Stefano and Menno Klont. So a fascinating championship, and it has ended in favour of Wopke Hoekstra. So we are now going to go for a couple of interviews, I believe, if anyone's going to step in. So I'm just waiting for those. There's no one currently in the channel. I'll certainly drag them in if they do arrive. But yeah, absolutely well done to our race 1 winner Stefan Ruhl and our race 2 winner and championship winner Wopke Hoekstra. That was a very, very good drive, season long, from Wopke, and you don't win a championship on one race. It's over a course of races, of course. And I will read out his results now, and you will notice in this that there is not a single DNF, and in fact not a single non-point scoring position. He got a second, third, first, 8th, second, 4th, 5th, second, 4th, second, 5th, first, 4th, 8th, 6th, third, first, 6th, 5th, 6th, second, whatever he got in Imola race 1, I can't remember, and then a first. So not a single DNF season long. That is how you win a championship. And to Ruhl's 3 DNFs, including the 2 races he didn't start, then that was the deciding factor. We do now have a couple of people waiting for interviews.
User was moved to
we
your
heard
channel.
from Menno Klont after race 1, and he's here again. So Menno, how did your race 2 go? Any better than race 1?
Well, not exactly. It was not very good. It was it was not my weekend, not my race. And well, I was not that slow, but the whole circuit is pretty difficult on curbs, and well, curbs is yeah. You need to know how to drive them. If you have the confidence and exactly the right angle over curbs, then you can go as fast as you want. But yeah, today I had a bit of missed timing on the curbs, so that made me a lot of times hit my bottom plate to the curb, and then I lost the rear, so I spun again, and yeah, that was unfortunately out of the top 15. So I decided that there was nothing to win, and I would rather watch the race. So it was yeah, unfortunate, but yeah. So yeah, what should I say?
Well, that's very unfortunate. Sorry to hear about that.
But yeah, yeah.
One thing I have noticed is that you tend to do well in the GPVWC Formula Challenge car, whereas you seem to be making more mistakes, and no offense meant there, in the WCS League car. Is there a big difference between the two?
Yeah, the GP3 car of WCS is a bit more different like than an FC car, but I also must say that I have a lot more training in the FC car. I think that's the main reason. I mean, today I of course waited a bit with starting of training, and I should have tested more, and then I probably could have had a podium maybe in race 1. But yeah, I didn't test, and then it will bite you in the end. So I think that's the main reason. But yeah. Also, I want to congratulate Wopke Hoekstra with getting the driver's title, and of course Stefan Ruhl as well, because he was pretty decent as well. So I'm sure you interviewed him later, but yeah, they did amazing. So yeah, I think this is all for me for today.
Okay, thanks, Menno. Talking of interviews, actually, I should probably speed up a bit because we've got 5 waiting. Right, talking of Wopke Hoekstra, I want to get this one in very quickly. He is, of course, the oh, sorry, Wopke. I don't know if you were in a mid-conversation there, but anyway. Champion! How does that feel?
Woo! Yeah, feels great. I was indeed in a conversation, but it's all right. You couldn't know. Yeah, it's amazing. I can't believe it. Like, of course, I was leading the championship already by quite a margin, but still to get it and like actually be the champion now, yeah, it feels great. And I think, yeah, it was a tough fight all season with everyone, especially Stefan. So amazing.
I must say you sound absolutely chuffed with it, and so you should be. Also, great way to end the championship with a win in the final race as well. Talk us through this race weekend in particular. Surely it was quite tense, really.
Yeah, definitely. Into qualifying, I thought I had to set a really good lap. I thought the other guys would set similar lap times to me, but in the end I was quite a margin away from them and took pole, so that was good. So I took the first point already, which was nice. But then in the race I didn't quite have the pace. I had a bit of extra fuel in, which is also why I had the quicker pit stop than Stefan, because I had to refuel a lot less, I think. However, due to the stress and everything, I think I made a mistake or two, and that cost me the win in the end. But still, I think overall I did a good job to get P2, which meant that Stefan had to win and had to take fastest lap to have any chance of winning the championship. So that was good. And then into race 2, I just thought I would take it easy, but then I don't know, I was in first place and I won the race. So yeah, that was good.
Yes, absolutely, and very, very well done for both that race win and the championship. Indeed, I couldn't do it with a lifetime of trying. Well done, Wopke. Right.
Thank you.
In next, we are going to bring two people. In fact, because I've been asked for a double interview here. We have the whole of Holland Racing Team. So Stefan Ruhl and Gerrit de Vries.
Hello.
Hi, Josh.
Hello. So right. For a start, Stefan, you, of course, were...
User joined your channel.
Oh, hello, everyone. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so, Stefan, you, of course, went into this weekend with a chance of winning the title. You did win a race, but it wasn't the title that you were looking for. So, surely it's a bit of a bittersweet Wednesday for you.
Yeah, it was really a long shot, to be honest. I had to do really well in the last race at Magny-Cours. And I did, so I still had a chance here, but still it was a very slim chance. And then I did what I had to do on the first race. I had to win, and then the fastest lap for the extra point. So I was still alive for the last race, and then the extra tension of maybe still being able to win the championship really brought a lot to the whole event. So actually, I really just enjoyed it, and the fight with Wopke was amazing the whole season. And this last race, just the tension of maybe winning, or maybe Wopke making a mistake on the last lap or something like that. But it wasn't meant to be. But all in all, really fun season.
Yeah, it certainly looked at it from a spectator's point of view. Gerrit, you were right in and amongst the action in both races, in fact. Surely you did more than I had time to look at. Talk us through those two races, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, first race was just a drama. Really made a lot of mistakes and had a very tight fight with Fabian Rudde. It was not really what I was hoping for, but scored some points, and we got the team championship, so I can't complain, really.
Yeah, indeed. I was told that by Johan Lindberg during race 1. So you two, of course, both teams champions now with Holland's Holland Racing Team. What does it take to be the greatest team and to actually beat the others?
Have a great teammate.
Well, actually, I think scoring in the points consistently with both cars. That really
Yeah.
helped a lot. And Gerrit is a great teammate. Dayton, great team boss. Congrats to him as well. But of course,
Yeah.
also congrats to Wopke for winning. Awesome driver. And good fight.
Yeah, he was pretty much unstoppable this season.
Good answer. Yeah, I'd answer the exact same thing. Consistency is definitely key here. Right, who have we got here that I haven't interviewed yet? Right, Roy Vazil, running. Can you hear us, Roy?
Yeah, sure.
Good. Right, you were running higher than I've seen you on previous occasions in the WCS League. Did you think you had a real shot at podiums or even a win today?
Higher than you expected, you mean? Yeah, well, higher than I expected as well. Garrett and Stefan, first of all, congratulations to you guys to win the team championship. And Wopke, of course, winning the driver championship after doing a very strong season. And yeah, well, the races were very good. The speed was very good in the qualifying as well. Big thanks to Rink for the setup. Otherwise, I wasn't able to do those kind of lap times. And actually, the pace in the races on the hard tires was very good. I could keep going, doing fast lap times without making a lot of mistakes on those tires, and I think they were even faster than the softs. But yeah, it was too risky to start on the hard tires on the second race, and yeah, after after the race, it's easy to say that the hard tires would be a better choice, but yeah, it was. And I kept going, making mistakes on those soft tires. The back end of the car was way too slippery. But yeah, as from a cruise point of view, I'm happy with the season. Thanks to everyone who showed up during the season, and especially today with yeah, we had a nice grid, 21 people. That's great for a last race in the season. And thank you for the broadcast team as well. Great job, guys.
That's a pleasure. I really enjoy doing this. Possibly as much as you enjoy racing. Yeah, that's a good response there. Who else have we got? Right, Sven de Vries. So, Sven, can you hear me properly?
Yep.
Good.
Loud
good.
and clear.
Even better. Right. Was it you or was it the other De Vries who only joined for race 2?
That would be me.
You. Okay, so obviously you missed race 1, so you had to come from right at the back of the field in race 2. Surely that was quite a fun charge through.
It was definitely quite a challenge. Yeah, I hadn't had any practice. I was asleep, unfortunately, so I missed race 1 and practicing. I knew it was quite a challenge. Just figured we'd have fun with it. Hadn't raced in months, so wasn't exactly planning on winning that race. Had some fun, made some mistakes, had some good battles. Yeah, it was fun to be back. And hopefully, we'll be back next year.
Yeah, definitely. So you say you definitely enjoyed today's racing, although I've enjoyed basically this entire season. I only joined about 3/4 of the way through, but from what I've seen, it's been a brilliant year from all involved. So to everyone on the YouTube chat, thanks for tuning in to this race and to this entire season. In fact, however much of it you saw, you probably saw more than I did, whoever you are. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. However you're tuning in and whenever you're tuning in, live or later. And we will see you next season. So again, congratulations to our team's championship, Holland Racing, and our drivers champion, Wopke Hoekstra. And also thanks to the rest of the broadcast team, Menno Klont in particular, for helping me to set this up, with Joshua Anderson also a significant mention in that. And we will see you in the next season, which will start, well, next year, obviously. So, see you then. Goodbye.